Welcome to the very first Mini Tour Pro case study. You guys seem to be enjoying my videos breaking down the cost and difficulty of making it as a professional golfer pursuing the PGA Tour. And I thought that a series highlighting some of my personal friends that are exceptionally talented pro golfers and have still not yet made it to the PGA Tour might sort of validate the movement that we've got going here, and it'd be a lot more personal to add faces and names to these random numbers on a whiteboard and make it easier for you guys to attach to the storylines. So we're going to focus on my good friend Bob Bell. We're going to pop up a picture of Bob here. We played together a couple seasons on the Dakotas Tour back in the day. We're going to focus on his 2019 season and what happened to him in Korn Ferry Q School, which is the big dance at the end of every pro golf season, where guys either advance to the next level or stay stagnant and spend another year spinning their wheels on a low tier tour with no career advancement opportunities. So Bob Bell played an incredible season on the Dakotas Tour in 2019. Took a lot of my donations to the pot for sure. He played in 5 events, had a total earnings of $18.3 thousand, which is very significant on the Dakotas Tour, especially for playing a limited amount of starts. So he basically shot like 100 under in 5 tournaments. His average score was 3.62 under par. And so the point of that is he was playing extremely well. He was hot. And you roll straight from the Dakotas Tour into Korn Ferry Tour Q School. It's usually like June through August Dakotas Tour, September through December Korn Ferry Q School, depending on what stage you start at. In Q School is where it gets interesting. First stage, so he was exempt through pre-qualifying, having previously advanced through pre-qualifying in prior years, and that's the way Korn Ferry Q School works. Different Q Schools work in different ways. Korn Ferry is 4 stages, 4 rounds per stage. PGA Tour Americas is just 1 stage. It's different overseas in Europe as well, but Korn Ferry Q School is notoriously the most challenging one to get through because the Korn Ferry Tour is the gold standard. Every pro golfer in America is aspiring to ascend to because it's the only tour that can promote you to the PGA Tour after successfully finishing in the top 25 on the money list after 1 full season on the Korn Ferry Tour. So this is what everyone's focused on. This is the only tournament that really matters as a pro golfer pursuing the PGA Tour each year. He was exempt through pre-qual. First stage, he shot 16 under and finished in 7th place, 4 under per day on average through 4 rounds. It cost him $5,650 in expenses. He sent me some texts and I screenshotted different notes and things that he built out for me specifically to make this video. We worked collaboratively on this. He saw what I was doing, thought it was an awesome movement and cause, and said, let me know if there's any way I can help. And I said, absolutely, share some numbers with me so I can break it down on the classic whiteboard and see if we can show more people what's really up in this golf world. So, second stage, he shot 6 under, finished in a tie for 24th place, which was 1 stroke shy over the course of 4 rounds. So a quarter stroke per round, so literally nothing. He missed out on advancing the final stage and got a whopping $0 check for all of that performance and no career advancement. Has to start over next year on the Dakotas Tour. Hope to play well again, hope to have enough money in the bank to do Q School, and hope to shoot 1 stroke better in the final stage. So the margins are razor thin. There's almost no rhyme or reason to the guys that do and don't make it. Bob is obviously an exceptionally talented player, definitely deserving of playing golf for a living. I don't think anyone would question that if you got a chance to play with him. For 99.999% of golfers, you would watch Bob hit a golf ball and watch him play 18 holes, and you'd be like, wow, that's the best golfer I've ever played with. So to have a guy like that try his hardest and never advance off of something like the Dakotas Tour and get a chance to play somewhere for a real living at the game and instead have to move into coaching, caddying, all the other random side jobs that pro golfers do when their playing career doesn't work out, I would say is got to be very frustrating for him. And that's what I aim to change through some of the movement I've got going on right now for the next generation of golfers. I'd like to make it a lot more plausible for guys at this talent level, +6, +7 handicap talent level, to play for a legitimate earning on a tour somewhere. So he sent a text with me, and I guess I can put the screenshot up here, where he described doing some math on all the scores that he shot that year and keeping a handicap for himself of just his tournament rounds. He logged like 50 tournament rounds in the 2019 season, and I believe he said he played to like a +6.5 handicap. And then he said he did the same math for Scotty Scheffler in his 2024 season, which was PGA Tour record-setting low scoring average of like 68 point something and it looked like he was within 1 or 2 strokes of Scotty's handicap. His handicap factored out to about a plus 8.1 or 8.5 or something. I don't have the text in front of me right now. It's on my phone, which is filming this, so I'm just going off of memory. And this was a conversation I had about a week ago with him. So forgive me if the numbers are slightly off, but again, I will just pop them up right here on the screen so you guys can pause the video or screenshot it and dissect it as much as you want. The point I'm trying to make here, aside from all the slight variation in the fractions of numbers we're talking about here, the point I'm trying to make is that Bob played extremely well. The margin of difference between him and world #1 Scotty Scheffler, who is breaking records on the PGA Tour right now, was a slim margin. Over the course of a 4-round tournament, we might be talking about a handful of strokes. Difference between someone being paid millions and millions of dollars on tournament earnings alone, not to mention the exposure and opportunity that comes from being on the PGA Tour and playing on TV every single week and having endorsements and things come in through that. We're not only talking about tournament earnings, we're also talking about endorsement money, life-changing stuff here, right? And the margin is like almost immeasurable. Is Scotty a little better? For sure. Is he probably going to win the majority of matchups? For sure. But is Bob going to beat him sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people want to go back and forth about this, mostly because they don't know. You'd have to have spent years on mini tours and gotten to know these guys and played with them in practice rounds and tournaments to understand the skill and talent level that's out there. And I'm not saying every mini tour player is like Bob. He's an anomaly. He's one of the best. He's a legend. Do a lot of guys struggle to make cuts and not shoot these types of numbers? Sure. So I'm not saying that the bottom tier of mini tours is comparable to Scotty Scheffler, but certainly the guys winning on mini tours any given week, I believe if you plug them into a PGA Tour or a Korn Ferry Tour event, they would be extremely competitive. Certainly could have a chance at making the cut, and I think they could even be in contention for the tournament. The skill level is not really what I think is the determining factor here. I think it's just a system where only 125 guys can play on the PGA Tour each year, and they make no attempt at creating branch off tours that are actually places where guys can make a sustainable living for themselves. Every tour is the same. You have to literally be in like the top 5 or 10 guys to be making money on PGA Tour Americas, Korn Ferry Tour, etc. And it just seems to me like the talent pool of golf is much larger than that, and more opportunities to play on different tours, which is what I'm working on right now, so stay tuned for that, is something that's very much needed in the pro golf landscape, to give guys like Bob and many of my other professional golf friends who are insanely talented, didn't make it, and had to move on to other random jobs in life that they really didn't want to do, sell insurance, things like that, caddying. I just think that it doesn't need to be that way, and I'm working extremely hard right now to change that. So your support on any of my content, whether that's sharing it, liking it, leaving a comment, subscribing, etc., it all helps. The more that there is buzz around this topic, the more attention I have on it, the more power I have, because attention is currency. And so the more attention I have, the more I can drive, eyeballs to my new movement and things that I can't share too much about yet. But trust me, it's going to change the entire game of golf in 2025. So stay tuned. If you guys are enjoying this kind of content, there's plenty more coming, and I'm going to shake things up for sure. Excited to have you guys with me, whether you're supporting or disagreeing. It's all good with me as long as you're talking about it. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.